Okay. So here we go. Hello, everybody on YouTube, Facebook. Please, let's go ahead and share the message. Go and put it in the inboxes of people. You might be giving them or doing to them the biggest service ever. Maybe it will be the greatest revolution of their Christian life. So, Father, in Jesus' name, come and teach us today. Open the eyes of your people.
Amen.
Minister to us.
Amen.
Live your life. Let your illumination come through us. Let your light explode in the mind and spirit of everybody everywhere to the glory of the Father. In Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, I told you how many pages are here. Where would you pass that? In Norway. Norway slide. That's Samuel Paslini. Samuel Paslini. That. We can't see the number, right? No number. How many pages? How many are there? Yes, now. I wanted to show you 200 slides in this one alone. And I still have 20-something others. So I have to go fast. Huh? Yeah. The slide, I move myself. Oh, let me see where we stopped. Okay. Okay, let's start. I think we did this. We did this, right? Yep. Yeah, let's start from here. Einstein's law of thermodynamics. So it's Einstein's laws of thermodynamics, right? Energy, the first law is, there are three laws there, but this is the first law. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be converted. So, please, sir.
If sped up fast enough, a physical product or mass will first become heat and then become light. If it were to be sped up even faster, it would then become invincible. At the point of mass becoming invincible is the point where it has converted to energy.
Science students might be the advantaged ones today about this one. Maybe not. Maybe because some of us will go to school, but school didn't go through us. I never studied science. I was in I studied in the Domila. That's a village, community high school, they call those things. So no walls. Just, a room like this, no walls. And so no library, laboratory. I never saw a laboratory in my life till today. I never read physics. I never read chemistry and all those science. Got no opportunity. But I developed myself over the years just through self-education to understand science and physics and mathematics so much that science students, even professors of science, physics and chemistry, they are telling me we are getting to know physics, understand physics thanks to you. And mathematics. So that is also because of self-education and because of the Bible. I got my inspiration from the Bible. Yeah, it is the Bible that I saw mathematics. In fact, many people tell me that they began to see mathematics and physics and science in the Bible thanks to Dr. Sunday Adelaja. And I'm talking about professors who teach in the U.S. university science, mathematics, and physics. So this one here, can you people tell me what law am I using right here? What is this law that I'm explaining here? Huh? Very good. The law of energy. And what is the formula?
E equals mc squared.
Aha. But now, the French guy is saving all of you. The French brother is saving all of you from blush. He's the only one who remember what law. And when I ask for science students, all of you raise up your hands. But when it comes to practicality, because it is what matters about education, science or mathematics, anything. It is the convertibility, the applicability of it. That's what I'm interested in. The part of knowledge that could be applied, and that is why I'm attracted to this law of energy. But you will hear more about it, right? But that's why you need to be alert, especially if you are not familiar with these things. But he understood what we are talking about. Okay, please go ahead. But we have read 2 or 3 paragraphs right now, and I'm not sure all of you understood what we read. No. You understood it? Mba. Mba. No, yeah, not yet, right? Okay, so we have it will need understanding. Yes. I mean, it will need explanation. Yeah. Okay, can you go through it again, sir?
Right. Okay. If sped up fast enough, physical product or mass will first become heat and then become light. If it were to be sped up even faster, it would then become invisible. At the point of mass becoming invisible is the point where it has converted to energy. All it takes for the visible to become invisible is a very high rate of speed. This is where we get the term, the speed of light.
Now, let me now take you back to where we have started this, which we had actually done earlier on, that will give you more understanding. Remember, this law or this stage of teaching started with this, light. Genesis 1:3. Remember light? Yes. Let there be light. Yes. Keep that in your mind right now. Say light. Light. There is nothing more important in the world than light. Yes. Not in this teaching, and I'm not talking of the world in sense of the earth. I'm talking about in the world in terms of universe. Nothing is more important in the universe than light. So when I told you about words, I said the most important word you should ever know is conversion. But when it comes to universe, nothing is more important than light. Remember that. And also remember one other thing. Light is the foundation of creation. And I don't know if Dr. Victor is still here. He spoke about one membrane, or what do you call it? Pineal gland, one gland. And then he spoke about melatonin. Remember? Yeah, what? Melatonin. Remember all those things. All those things, I told him when he was explaining it, that the reason for the powerful explanation that he was talking about that gland is because there is something inside. I don't know if you know about it. Light. They discover light in the brain system, in the blood system, in the DNA of my melatonin. There is light there. And that light, it's coming in forms of cross. But we'll get there. But just remember right now, when we're going to be talking about thermodynamics, just remember that light is at the root of everything. And light is the most important force in the universe, not just in the world, in the universe. So think about, I want to challenge you right now to think about light separately, differently. I told you about light, that it enables us to see. But now I'm going to take it to another dimension of light. I'm now going to be talking about light right now, not just as knowledge, not just as understanding or wisdom. I'm going to be talking as light as the foundation of creation. That is the way. That's why you are going to be hearing about light now. Be thinking about it from the point of view of the foundation of creation and as the most powerful force in the universe. Because from everything, in fact, everything you see right now is a product of light. Because once God said, let there be light, It became the source of everything. So because it was light that was the foundation that was released first, every other thing that was created, even houses, is a result of light. Even trees is a result of light. Even everything is a result of light. As a matter of fact, if not for light, there will be nothing that will be possible to make. Everything that is created is existing because there is light in it. Even steel, even stones. Why? Because God made it like that initially. Science is just beginning to understand that now. And they are still confused where it comes from. But I know. Because we have the opportunity to read the Bible. Every other thing sprang and springs from that foundation. It's just like saying you are building a house and you pour cement. Every other thing stood on that, stands on that cement.
Yeah, the foundation.
That's the way light. When God wanted to start everything, He spread light. Every other thing now springs from. Oh. I don't know if you are seeing what I'm saying. Yes, so that's why we started from there. Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question, sir?
Yes.
So, which came first?
Can you give him the microphone?
Which of the two came first, light or time?
No. That one, you want to confuse them now, because if you are going to that place, you are getting more technical. You are getting more technical. Okay, if you want to know the order, what comes first? I'm talking about things we see now, but before the things we saw, that's where the guy is going. Before anything, there was time. Before light. But also, before light, there was something else also. Space. And it was then time and then matter. If you want the order. But time, did I say time and matter? I said light. I wanted to say light. So there is time, space, light, matter. But, I don't want, if you want to go there, I will have to put this aside first. And that's why I said, maybe we don't make it too technical, because we are going to confuse everybody now. Let's just keep to our lane right now. But I think I answered your question. Okay. So how will you know that it was time that was number one? Well, I'm being tempted to answer this guy's question. God help me. Anyway, I'm back. Just remember this one about time. Let me go forward. Anyway, we talk a lot about time already in the morning. So you have to connect it to what we are going to do now. What you are doing, second day, part 3 now, eh? Part 2? No, part 3. Part 3, yeah, part 3. It's part 3. Okay. So what is written here is so loaded. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask is it clear enough for the audience, for the people on YouTube, Facebook? Those words, are they visible enough? Okay, good. I'm being tempted to explain what is here, but I think I'm going to control myself. But everything that you are seeing here, the secret of it is one word: light. Even though it's like the theory of energy, but there is a role that light plays in energy that cannot be replaced, just like in every other thing. So, but remember, what you need to remember from this page is there are few things. But let me just do it like this. Let's come back to this. I'll go forward and come back to this. Because I've explained it forward in the other slides, then I'll come back to this later on. Yeah, go ahead, Henry.
Einstein proved that mass, m, could be converted to energy.
Okay, let me say, I think we have to start with this. Yeah, let's start with this. The law of relativity.
The law of relativity.
Or energy.
Yeah. E equals mc squared. where E is energy, M is mass, and the C is the
Square.
speed of light. C squared is the speed of light squared.
Yeah.
Light travels 186,000.
So that speed of light, that c square, is 186,000. It's supposed to be 10, yeah? We have 10 is missing, yeah. 10 is missing, sorry for that. 186,000 miles per second, but is when it's squared is times 2. That's speed of light, but speed of light times 2 is what we're talking about. So look at that formula of Albert Einstein. It's E equals mc squared. That is the formula for energy.
Yep.
All right, we all know that, right? Okay, so what is he talking about? E is what? Energy. M is what?
Mass.
What is mass? Matter. Okay, for substance. So for people who are not science students, it's object. Any object that has material body. So anything. It could be this house, it could be this chair, it could be you or me. That's object. Anything that has body. Matter. Okay? So M means mass, object, yeah, square, but that C is the speed of light. C is light. All right? But it's not just light. It's the equation for speed, the speed that light travels. You know, there is a speed of sound,
Yeah.
but there is speed of light. So we're talking about the speed of light now. But then, in this particular formula, because even Einstein didn't know what he's talking about, he just discovered it. But he doesn't know the meaning of light and where it's coming from and the explanation for light. And science is still in a limbo about that too. Because they are not connecting it to Genesis that that explains everything. They can just observe through laboratory and notice and see the fact. You know, science is just submitting to you the fact of what. But why? How? They don't know where that light comes from. The same thing with the gland that he was talking about. All right. So, but you and I, not that bro, should have nothing like this too. What happened to your battery? Okay. What happened to the battery? This one. Może to jest zakończy salobowe. So the battery was dead.
Ні, тут одна ще лишилась.
Satan will be very nervous about this topic. I'm telling you the things that science is even still struggling with. They still don't have answers to. So that is the advantage we Christians have, because we are able to study science, but also study the Bible. But the problem with our Christians is that they don't study the Bible to see totality of creation and everything else. They are just studying the Bible to see religion. See where the problem is. So because of that, we are not bringing it to life. We are not using that conversion and as a means of conversion. Maybe I should give. Maybe you should. Okay, are you okay? You will be able to fix it, or I should give you your own.
All right.
Okay. So this E equals mc square is energy. The interpretation is this for people who are not science students. It means for you to get energy, the secret of energy, or how to derive energy, the highest level of energy. Energy comes from, that is sun is energy. I mean, that kind of energy. I'm talking about light energy, electricity, not just energy from. So energy comes from that. You will get, this formula is saying you will get energy, the highest level of energy, if you can't hear? Okay, you will get energy and the highest level of energy. This actually formula is what is used for nuclear stations and nuclear bombs, nuclear energy. You know, one of the greatest and destructive, the most powerful energy. This is how they got it. And this energy, you can get that level of energy, the highest form of energy, when any matter you take, when you speed it up. So if I take this matter, this mass, and speed it up, the more I speed it up, now you get back what we're talking about now. If sped up fast enough, now you see this phrase, if I speed it up fast enough, any physical product or mass, it will first become heated up, and then it will become heat. It will disappear. It will become heat or fire, smoke, or energy. That's energy too. Fire, smoke, fire, it will become heat. And if you keep on eating it, it will become vapor. Vapor. It will evaporate. It will become vapor. Okay? But then if you keep on eating it, it will get to the speed, because that heat we are talking about will turn to speed. It is the heating, it is energy, it is increasing it. It's the speed. When you eat anything up, that is energy. It's increasing the energy. So it's just like saying we have heating system here now. That this house is warm. This place, in fact, we have to open the window to get it a bit cold. But that is means we are heating it up. So if you keep on heating it up, it will get to the speed of light. When you heat things up, you are increasing the speed. That is why we say minus when it's winter. Yeah. So if you go to the outside, it's minus. It's cold because the speed in the winter is reduced. So it is all manipulation of speed. That is how you get either energy or cold. Remember that. It is manipulation of speed. It is all depending on movement. That is the science for doing refrigerator, air conditioner, fridge, all those things. That is the science behind it. So the secret of creating air conditioner or refrigerator or fridge is just to lower the normal temperature that you have, lower the speed, reduce the speed. So if you take normal day like this that we have, normal energy, you have air and in the atmosphere, and you have water as well. So that lowering of the temperature or the speed of your energy, it will reduce the heat, and the heat is becoming cold and cold. So first of all, you experience cold, then later on that cold will turn to ice. But that ice is not the end. If you keep on decreasing the speed, it will turn to ice block. Then if you keep on doing it, it will turn to mass. That is why you get your ice block. Those are mass. Or if you, the same thing. So what we are talking about here, but if you do the opposite and increase the speed of energy, any energy, it will rather become that same ice you took. Just eat it up, increase the speed. It will warm up again and become water. But if you keep on warming it up again, it will become moist, moisture and vapor. And then it's steam, vapor, and then it will disappear into thing. That's exactly what. But if you keep on, but that light is too, like water and something like that is too light. So for objects to keep on being heated up, you need not just light products. Like this one cannot only produce light energy, small one. You need the purest mass and the strongest mass. So steel, for example, or iron, for example, or the harder and the more condensed, the stronger the object is, the more it can sustain the heat. So, yes, so that it will go, you keep on eating it to the level of the speed of light. By the time you eat it, but by the time it's getting to the speed of light, something will happen to that energy. You all the while, it is already energy. Even from now, from the time you put any heat, it is already energy. If you put your hand, it's already. But we are talking about real energy to produce, a city or something. You need to keep on eating it up. That's why you needed water, hydro energy, because the water, the force of the water is heated, dam or something. Those things. So it's heat. It is increasing the speed. So, but if you increase the speed and keep on increasing the speed, you can keep on increasing it to the speed of light. When you keep on heating it up to the speed of light, the energy becomes intense and you have a lot of energy. But wait now to what I tell you. It's about this theory. What is wonderful about that, E equals mc squared. When the reason why you have square there is that you get, that's why this guy became a genius. You get the highest kind of energy. They used to have atomic energy, all those speed of light, but they don't do E square. But he continued to do experiments, Einstein, until it heated speed of light twice. People are just getting satisfied when they get to the speed of light. Wow, speed of sound, speed of light. Oh, but he kept on heating. He found material that could be kept on eating. So he kept on eating it in the laboratory experiment. And when he discovered that when you keep on eating mass like that, good mass that are sustainable, keep on letting it roll, you don't just get even more energy, but what he found, that's what made him the genius, is relativity. That's why it's called theory of relativity. Is that mass, even the strongest of them, when it hits the speed of light square, it disappears. Now this one also will disappear because it's a light object. If you hit it, it will just disappear. But this one will just out of the speed. So let's say you take iron or this house or anything, the whole of the creation that we have right now, you can roll them. Nothing is real when it gets to that level. Yes, everything is the whole earth. That's why they call nuclear weapon. That's why they got the idea of nuclear weapon. It will destroy the whole world because it's coming from that speed. That the whole idea of nuclear weapon that is sustain that speed in a incubator. So when it eats anything, any mass that it eats, it seizes at that level. No object can exist. Are you getting what I'm saying? The energy that it releases destroys the whole world 7 million times over. Because at that stage, by the time you speed up any object to get to the speed of light, square 2 times, it becomes invisible. Why? Because it becomes spirit force. And that is what they don't know.
Yes.
That's why for me it's very easy to prove to any scientist the existence of God. Because why does any object will disappear? Because the source of light, by the time you speed up light twice, it goes back to the spirit where it comes. Where it's coming from. And that's what source, back to source. And the source is what? Spirit. Disappear. But now, when you now take that same object, instead of heating it up or increasing the speed, keep on increasing the speed, you say, you people are now looking at me as if I'm the science student. Yes. You people are now looking at me as if I'm the science student for me to be like, Even professors listen like that too, don't worry. You are okay. I'm talking about professors in nuclear physics, they still listen at me like this. So, but by the time you now reverse the role, and that energy that is sped up and became this, no object, it disappears. No object becomes. But when you reverse the role, and now begin to slow it down. That is another experiment. When you begin to slow down the speed and reduce it, all of a sudden, any object that is put lower than the speed of light becomes visible again. The reason why we are alive, and that explains to us that we are eternal. That is why you needed pregnancy. The reason why a woman needs to be pregnant for 9 months is because the Spirit of God, which is the child, every one of us is a spirit. So when the conjunction happens in the sperm of the man and the seed of the egg of the woman, when it becomes embryo, what happens that God's Spirit is it hits and becomes life. But it has to be in the incubator. Why do you need the incubator? The incubator is a form of air conditioner. Incubator, that is how they are able to create it. Is because if you reduce the speed of light, I told you what happened when you increase it, it will disappear. But when you reduce it, God is spirit. It's coming like invisible. From the spirit realm, you know it's visible. Yes. If you use high spiritual energy, it's invisible. So God is living on that level. Angels are living on that level. So, but when you reduce the speed of the energy at which they function, the speed of light, it's all light. It's manipulation of light. When that light is reduced and confined, you know, when it's increased, it goes invisibility. It becomes invisible to the spirit realm. Now, when you want to take something from the spirit realm to become physical, you just need to reduce the speed, do the opposite. It could be angel, it could be man. So what happens with a childbearing is what I want to explain to you. So on how we came to the world. So God takes us from the spirit. God creates us. That's why God said, before you are in your mother's womb, I knew you. While you are in your mother's womb, I already anointed you. Before you are known by God. God packaged you in heaven, but as a spirit body. Just like angel. But when at the inception, the Spirit of God breathes and releases that spirit, your man, your spirit man. You are a spirit. That's why the Bible says we are spirit, we are not body. But for you to function on the earth, it's sending you on a mission already at the inception. But for you to function on the earth, if you had landed on the earth like that, you just be like angel, nobody will see you. So you are irrelevant. So for you to be relevant on the earth, God needed to condense you. And what does why do you need the condensing? So the womb of a woman is the place where the speed is being reduced. So it is, if it has been reduced just normally, it's because it's gradual. So at every level of the reduction of the speed, something is forming in a baby. So by the time it's 9 months, the condensing, the reduction of the speed, you remember I just told you that if you heat up ice from the fridge, put it in something, it becomes vapor, and then it becomes disappear into the spirit. Okay, but if you now reduce that water that disappeared and now reduce and put it in the same water in the room we are, if you now put it in the freezer, it will become concrete block, it will become mass. The same thing, the same principle is happening in the woman. So it takes 9 months to the object, the form, because what is the form that you get from the freezer? It is the form of the shape. That you, any shape. So it's the shape of whatever you put it in. That is what you get from the freezer. The same thing when it is human, God already made that in God's image, in the spirit. So that shape is already there. So when you now put a child or a pregnancy, it's the spirit in the woman's stomach, on every stage, what God is doing is just reducing the temperature. Just reducing it. And at every level, something is formed. Something is formed. But what determines what is formed? It is not God. What is formed, it is now being determined by the embryos, the embryo that, the two seeds that came together. They are now the one. Because God didn't give, that is why the only thing God needed was that. God didn't give the body. So what you need from the man and what the child needs is just the body, the container. And that's why you have two fixture of the husband and something, and then it forms the body and the container for the child. So the only thing you give that medical student. Wow. You are learning medicine today. Wow. Medical students also are learning medicine. All this from the Bible. I didn't read medicine. You know for sure I didn't go to medicine school. Even if you go there, you will not know what I'm telling you now. That doesn't matter. It will not help you. It's the Bible, you say. So the only thing you need for that child took from you is just because of that shape. So how will you now claim ownership of the eyes when the only thing you provided is a cup? What about the person who gave the water? And the person who has the fridge? And the person who put the freezer? So the only thing you learn, that child. That's why when somebody comes to the world, death is explainable. Because once that body is dysfunctional or is immortal or is dead, the life itself just returns back to, it just takes on the speed of light and goes back to it. So can you now explain why everybody that is dying, they see, have you heard of the DNA, people who die, they see what? Light! You guys,
They're traveling back.
of course, the speed, the speed of light, and it is the light that is, so. So why do you need the body? It's not just to form the shape of the child, the eye of the mother, the leg of the father. No, that is just elementary. But the greatest reason why pregnancy is needed and why the body and the container is necessary is because God needed that person he has sent on a mission here to the earth to be able to benefit the earth. And anything spiritual, you remember we spoke about it earlier, can never benefit. That pregnancy, therefore, is a process of conversion. It's a process of conversion so that you will no longer be spirit.
Wow.
Because through those 6 months, 9 months, every vital organ is being formed so that you will be able to function here. So, and the reason also for that is because, you need that body to restrain you and to keep down your spirit man here. So, your body therefore is your prison. But it's a necessary and inevitable prison for a purpose. What is the purpose? Mission. That's why everybody must discover the calling and purpose. You are in solitary confinement for a purpose, for you to be able to carry out your mandate. That's why a life without purpose is the greatest loss that will ever happen, because you are confined for that purpose. So for you to be trying to escape and become spiritual again, you don't get it. Because you will escape sooner or later, because one day that body will be worn out, it will die sooner or later, and you will travel back. But with what? Without accomplishing mission or mission accomplished. But it's all manipulation of speed and light, energy. But I've told you more than I needed to tell you. Let's follow this. Let's follow the script. Let's follow the script. Yeah.
Why should our purpose be found in our pains?
Our purpose be found in our pains is just because there are so many distractions in the world. Once you get here, you begin to follow not the spirit, because you have been so condensed that you are more aware of your physical body and physical reality, because you are needed here, than your spirit man. And because of that, you have lost touch with who you are, even where you're coming from. So you just begin to follow things as they are. You are packaged and you are influenced as somebody tell you, maybe your parents or your environment. So you've lost, the God is the last, your spirit man is the last something. So you need pain. It is in moments of pain that you have time to it is moment of pain that helps you to begin to reason things and go deeper and reconnect to yourself. I'm giving you too much information right now, but I think it's still helpful. Yes. But even though you think you are getting it, but you still not getting it yet. You still need to go. you are understanding what you are hearing, but you didn't get it yet. You still need to go and listen over and over again for you to get what I've just told you. Yeah, right now you cannot. I'm talking too fast for you to draw a picture. So you need to later on go and now paint the picture and be able to see the picture. Yes, sir.
Does that explain John chapter 1:9, where it says that he's the light that lighted every man that cometh into the world?
It explains it very well. John 1:9, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. But we're still going to get there here.
Okay.
We're still going to get there. So you went ahead. So when we're now, can you now understand that first? Can you read that first paragraph again? Because they read it, everybody, but I think you will now understand it differently. Let's read it again now.
If sped up fast enough, physical product or mass will first become heat and then become light.
Are you getting it now? Mm-hmm. But if you keep on speeding it double, then it disappears altogether.
Invisible.
Becomes invisible. Okay, go ahead. That's the spirit
Level.
Okay, go ahead.
If it were to be sped up even faster, it would then become invisible. At the point of mass.
See the difference in understanding. I've painted the picture to you. Now you are getting what you are reading now. Now you are reacting.
Wow. Yes.
Yes.
At the point of mass becoming invisible is the point where it has converted to energy.
But this is not just energy now. It has been energy all the while, even from matchbox. Yes. But this is now the nuclear, they call it, energy. It is the invisible energy. That is why it can destroy the whole world. That is why they call those people superpower, who have nuclear energy. And that's why they are signing the treaty. Please don't use ammo. who all disappear. Yeah?
All it takes for the visible to become invisible is a very high rate of speed.
You see?
This is where we get the term the speed of light.
Now, if we go further, I could explain to you where Einstein got that theory from. And nuclear energy, atomic energy, where they get the concept from. It is again by studying something that God has created himself. Everything is always from something God has already created. You see, there are different ways you could bring innovation out. You could become a creator, innovator, and inventor. It is either by hearing God direct and then convert, or by observing what God already created. So most of the things that scientists do, of course, some of them also get inspiration. But mainly they just observe nature. And from that, imitate, duplicate, and create something else. They convert that picture, that thing, into cars, planes, and things like that. So now, this energy, atomic energy, nuclear energy, they discovered this theory by studying the greatest energy that the world, our universe, has ever known. And that energy is the sun. And they then studied. That's why we need science. They began to study where does sun get its energy from. So it is the study of sun that brought about the discovery that sun converts itself, part of itself, it recirculates into the speed like that and keeps on regenerating. But that's another subject. I will come back to that another time. But let's next January retreat, I will talk about that. Light. I will talk about light and the energy of light next HMT. So now you have understanding about this page. So this little page here, this little page here is very loaded. You can go through university 10 times and not come back across this one page here. You can study engineering, you can study physics, you can study anything you want to study, not come across this thing here. Biology, anything, study it, you will not come across this thing here. Because not the way they put education these days is just to tell you as a matter of fact. E equal mc square. It was Einstein who discovered it. That's all. And it is called the law of energy, okay, relativity. But they don't tell you relativity. So why is it called law of relativity? Who now knows? Who could explain to me why? Why is it called law of relativity? Yes, give him the microphone. Let's see how my student will perform.
Because everything is relative. It can always change form. So it doesn't really exist.
No, that's the textbook.
Oh.
Textbook. Yeah, but you are getting, you the last phrase almost got it.
Okay. It does not really exist because
Yeah.
it can always change form.
Come there here so that they see you.
The form of a thing can always change.
But why is it? You see, he got it from the fact that this water can become
water.
and the ice can become water again, and then it could disappear altogether.
Yes.
So that is why it's called law of relativity. Because today we had it. If it's manipulated a little bit, it's now water.
Yes.
If it's manipulated a little bit, it's now ice. And if it becomes like a little bit, it becomes snow. And if it becomes manipulated a little bit, it even disappears, becomes vapor.
Yes.
So that is why they call law of
They are all relative to
and
each
why
other.
did he say everything?
It's relative
It's
to
not
each other.
that everything, no. The problem that science is making, this is science, but what he's talking about is relativity in relation to mass and to material world. But the problem of the Western world, is that they are now using that law in relations to morals and principles. That way, if you make that mistake and bring relativity to truth. You self-destroy. And you didn't get it totally, because in moral society building now, people now begin to use that everything is relative. No standard truth and no permanent truth. Everything is relative. But that is only, they didn't know that the thing is only in relation to mass. Objects. So, but people who don't know the difference, because they didn't explain to them. They only told them that everything is relative. So they just go, everything is everything. They don't know that everything is in relation to mass. Not in relation to principles, to laws. So that's why the standards, but they don't believe it's not possible. Because if everything is relative, then there will never be 2 + 2 is 4. If everything is relative, you see. So it's not in relation to laws and principles and formulas. But when people who are not informed, who are not deep, they just want to manipulate the society. They tell you that everything is so it doesn't matter. Are you a man or a woman? You can choose. That's what relativity means. There's no standard. It doesn't matter if you are a man or a woman, or if you are good. Nothing is good or bad. Everything is based on what you. It's relative. So they bring it to moral laws, which is not the discovery, which is not what the relativity is talking about. You now see, I've explained to you that relativity comes in relation to what? Mass. You cannot change society just like that.
No.
And that's why the values of the West started falling since then. Anyway, why am I going off today so much? But I just thought I needed to lay the foundation for you people and at least help you get an idea of where we're going. So are you beginning to have an idea why I said you needed that sleep or that chocolate or that vitamin? Is it? Are you getting it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You are alive.
Yes.
You don't want sleep. You didn't even need to sleep anymore. Now we are going. So let's read this one.
Einstein proved that mass m could be converted to energy if it could get going fast enough. For this to happen, it must travel at the speed of light squared. The speed of light is 186,000 miles per second. Something moving at light speed would make it around the Earth about 7.48 times in 1 second.
In 1 second. That just for you to understand what light speed means. Around the whole Earth in not 7 minutes. So I mean not 7 minutes, but in 1 second it will go around the Earth 7 times. 1 second. You know what's 1 second? 1, 2. Speed of light would have gone throughout the Earth 7 times. That's why nuclear or something, you will not blink. You will not succeed in blinking. It will destroy the whole Earth, and they don't just put something to go one time, but they put a lot of them together. And then this is just the light of speed, though. I mean the speed of light, though. But we are talking about speed of light twice. 15 times around the globe in 1 second. In a blink of an eye. But I have ideas. By the time I get back to Nigeria, and I want anybody that is a science student. I'm not talking about science students. I'm talking about researchers and innovators. I want to gather Nigerian mind. I have ideas of how we must develop our own military arsenal. And I have ideas of how to compete and bring Nigeria to the level of America and become a world power energy in the area of military. So that is one, but I think I will stop at that one. I think I will stop at that one. So that they don't take me out before it's too late, too early. But that's one of the things, that's one of my projects for Africa. Huh? I'm going to give them some secrets.
Wow.
You will keep the button.
No. I will let the experts keep the button, but I will just give them the ideas of how it is done. How to be able to do things faster than just by observation and in the laboratory. I'm going to give them the task. Because all these people, it took them a lifetime to be able to find these things. But I'm finding them because I could relate to the source. And then read the book. Christians are supposed to be the most powerful people on earth. But religion has condensed us. You remember the baby, the way that's what church is doing, the same thing, incubating us and condensing us, lowering our energy. That is what church is doing for us. That's what religion is done. Just like God condenses the child. That's the way religion is condensing all of us, and we are becoming irrelevant on the earth. But I just need God to help me get things moving on time and get out. And you will be shocked by the things we are going to bring about in Africa. You will be shocked in a lifetime.
Amen.
What the West did in 400 years, 200 years, or that we will be able to make things happen. I keep on saying it. In 10 years, if I don't change Nigeria, say you don't know me again. I don't need political power even for that. So my pains and my suffering are not in vain. That's why you need those pains. Especially if you know how to convert. Wow. So, when we now say in Einstein's law of thermodynamics, number one, energy cannot be created or destroyed. That also confines, it can only be converted. That also confines science for me. Because man is energy himself. Yes. And what happened to that energy is, you know, he said it cannot be created. But they don't know the source. That's just like man's life. People think, science is still believing that life comes from conception. But their own theory, science, what they don't think, is that science has already said energy cannot be created. So it cannot be, it's not conception that creates. The energy around which the body was built itself, so where did that come from? That is why it can, but it's not just cannot be created, but it cannot be destroyed too. That's why there's no death. Yes. There's only convert. Yes. So that's why all of you must read my book, How to Overcome the Fear of Death. That's what it's talking about. If you read that book, you will never be afraid of death anymore. Amen. Because it is only conversion taking place, no death. Because energy, which is life, cannot be created or even destroyed. You can only change form. It can only be converted. So death is only you are talking. But in that book, I'm also telling you into what and what expects you after death. What happens, the process of that happening. That's why that book is a must read for everyone. Give me that book. You see the way it's big? Dark, yes. How to overcome. And then light. I put light inside. You see light? White? White and red. Energy, but light. So, how to overcome the fear of death is ignorance that makes you to fear death. By the time you know what I know, you'll be praying for death every day. I pray for death every day. Yes. I wait for death every day and pray for it every day. Wow. The most exciting thing you could ever have. Hallelujah. That's why by the time you read this book, you begin to do the same. Because you also understand. So when scientists want to talk about death, there is no life, everything disappears. Even with science, I will prove it to them. Even from this law alone, it's not from the proof. And you too can now prove it. But they don't connect stuff. But there are other laws, yes. Where am I taking? I'm taking you too deep. Or you are enjoying it? Yes. Okay.
When the Bible says that he that believes in Christ will not die but have everlasting life.
You see, it is Jesus telling the truth.
So
not reality, not life, what we call reality. Yes, go ahead.
So could that also be a form of conversion and prove the point that we can't die?
Yes.
But we can only be converted?
Yes, excellent. That's exactly what I'm saying. But Jesus was telling the truth. But people might not be able to understand, especially 2,000 years ago, talk less of science. But now you can see very clearly when Jesus said, "You will never die when you believe in me." No death. Oh, yes. So, you want to go into this detail, or is too much for you? You know, this is everything I have explained to you. Heat, energy, changing form. You want to read it? Or is no need? No need, yeah. You just the experimentation of it. This is the laboratory, but I've already explained everything to you. Okay.
God operates by laws and principles that he created. All of life, including spiritual life, operates by laws and principles.
And it is only because of that, because the earth is created to function and be operated on by laws and principles. And the number one law on earth is that earth must be operated by the law of time. Number two law, earth must operate and function only by the law of space. And number three, by the law of matter. But light is supreme. And that is the reason why even God, because he has put the law in place, that's why even God himself cannot benefit the earth without matter, without something physical and tangible. Because he has put the law there. This space, this area, supposed to function by matter, by light, by space. So without those three things, things don't function on earth very well. That's why if you want to restore Africa, you must begin to awaken the nation and the continents to the importance of time.
No African time.
No African time. No. That's another book I'm writing. How to double African GDP through the power of time. Time conversion. But we don't convert time in Africa. We waste time. But it's a law. There is no progress without it. Because those things function here only by those three things. But that's another thing. But God even submits himself to laws and principles. That's what I mean here. So the earth is made. Remember that forever. Where is that my book? My Greatest Secret. My Greatest Secret. And Life is Predictable, yeah. There are two books I wrote about this. The greatest secret I ever discovered in my life is that life is predictable. That life is being made and put under strict laws. So when I say something like, life is predictable, this book must be read by everyone. But even more importantly than this book is another one that I call Life's Greatest Secret. This is my greatest secret. Life's Greatest Secret. This book here. Life's Greatest Secret. It's the book where I taught about the greatest secret I ever discovered in my life. This book here. That the earth is made to function under certain laws. Fixed laws. If you get that right, that God has created everything to function under fixed laws, then you just need to know the laws and abide by them, and you'll be able to do what everybody can do. Yes. This is the greatest secret I ever discovered. And then the second one, Life is Predictable. These two books. My personal greatest revelation from where everything kicked off for me. I know since through that revelation, I began to know I can become a physicist. I can know better than professors. I can know better than anybody. I can beat everybody to it in everything, in every area. Finances, everywhere. These are my greatest secret books here. All right, so God himself has put the earth under fixed laws. And because of that, he himself has to obey those laws. And that's why everybody comes to the world the same way, through pregnancy. Even Jesus couldn't beat it. Because fixed laws. Jesus even had to be conceived. And he had to be there for 9 months. Because he had to be condensed. That's why they call him man. He's the son of man. He's a man. He's 100% man. Because he went through that process of condensing.
Normally we are thinking that Satan breaks all laws.
Satan is... Let's talk about Satan. You are going to divert me a little bit. Satan is illegal. Satan is illegal on the earth. Huh? You know, no, it's not what it's called. Satan is illegal on the earth, just like God is illegal on the earth. But God has the right of a landlord and of the creator. So he's not functioning, he's not living here like that, but because he's the creator who created everything, that is where his legality comes from to be here. But with Satan, by the law that is created, he's illegal here. So what does he do? He deceives people who have legal rights to be here. That's why that's his greatest weapon is deception. Because he needs your ears to hear and to obey and be deceived by him and then make him to be legal here. So I don't know if you're getting this. Yes. But otherwise, it's not powerful. Yeah. So it's not all powerful like you are thinking until somebody has been deceived. So for example, there are people who believe that they are spiritual husbands. Well, Satan becomes powerful in their lives because somebody has been deceived. There are people who believe that whatever their fathers and grandfathers did is torturing them. Well, Satan becomes powerful because somebody has been deceived. So Satan is only having the real estate, the square meter that you give to him, depending on your level of deception. Depending on his success in deceiving you. But God normally will not run the earth because he has already handed it over to man. That's why I said it's illegal for God. But it's not illegal for him because he's the one who created everything. So when you call upon him, even if you don't, he will still be there. He's everywhere because he's the one who created everything. But he will not run the earth for you. So when people are now asking God, they said, no, the heavens and of the heavens is the Lord's. But the earth he has given to the sons of men. He's not going to run it for you. It will be illegal for him to do that. It will be breaking his own law for him to do that. So when you are praying for him to come and do it, to come and run the earth for you, and you are praying 7 days, 30 days, 40 days, come and heal Nigeria, come and fix Nigeria, come and develop Nigeria. Okay, but there's nothing you will ever do to make him do it. Because he has said, the earth he has given to the sons of men. And the heavens of heavens is God rules over the universe in general. Yes. But this earth, take responsibility. Do what you are required to do what's required of you. Or you can dialogue. You can dialogue, yes. All right.
The first law of thermodynamics says that the energy cannot be created
stronger
or destroyed. This proves that man is an eternal being.
You see that? Yes.
God made Adam out of physical product, death, but breathed life into him, energy.
Stop. Since God no more makes Adam each time from physical product, where is that physical product coming from now?
It's coming from man.
Explain to no. Explain to me. What is man? Explain to me how. I just explained to you 5 minutes, 30. From what?
From the
Give it.
From the sperm.
Yeah.
Is it from the sperm and the eggs?
Yes. Because God has already done that with Adam and Eve, and he had already set the process in place. And he has set up a system whereby that dirt, that physical product, is now supposed to be passed from one to the other through eggs. Yes. Men's egg and women's egg. Yeah. He has put the system in itself. So it doesn't need to consult the earth and the dirt every time anymore. That dirt is the only thing you give that child. Yes. you don't have a claim to him. Uh-huh. I think it's only you who heard me. So don't think you are so important. And all those people who are making a big fuss and a big deal about children. Paganism and primitivity or primitiveness. Because the only thing you actually donate into what you call child is that dirt. Is the dirt, no? Dirt. The dirt. So you call it egg, you can call it any fanciful name, egg, sperm, embryo. You can call it any fancy name, anyhow you want, fancy, call it, dignify yourself. And, okay. But don't overemphasize it. You are not as important as you thought. That's why animals are as equal as you in that sense. And they have more dirt than you. Because they feed from the dirt itself all the time. That's why they can give back to 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 at the same time. And you can only manage 3 and 4 and rejoice every because dirt is the only thing you provide.
How to colligate these two things? From one part you are nothing, and from another part you are history maker.
Because you have spirit apart from flesh. Spirit makes the difference.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
from
the spirit is the one he gives. So that's why he's the only one that really matters at the end of the day. So it is the child is not about your doing, so you don't own him. So even when you have the children, you must know that it doesn't have anything to do with what you did. It's all about the person who gave the spirit and decided to confine that spirit in your stomach, in your womb. So when the baby now comes out, you know that person who conceived and put him there in the first place is the one that has ownership to it. And then you must now rear that child to be oriented and get back to the person and belong to him and never to you. That's the best way to be a parent.
From your teaching, I begin to understand how Jesus walked through the water.
Yes.
It's like a stop. He stopped the flood.
Yes. He's been my disciple, you can tell. Yes. But I'm going to also explain to you, maybe this week also, about why miracles happen and how they happen. So why is it that Jesus is able to heal somebody, or I, or somebody, and some people are not able to heal? Why is it that you can stop and walk through the water? How does that happen in physical terms? We just say miracles, and we make a big fool out of that. But by the time I explain to you, you will say it's the easiest thing to do.
And that day when he goes to the
Don't
heaven,
explain to them. Don't be in a hurry. I will do it later. He wants to begin here to open your eyes. Earlier than necessary. I needed to lay the foundation for them. Yes, let them get the foundation. Let them get the foundation right first. Yes. Let them get the foundation right first. Life is becoming exciting. Somebody wrote me yesterday after the evening, something yesterday. I said, Pastor Sunday, I think I will read this letter. I think I will read this guy's letter here. He wrote me, and people are getting excited just listening.
Yes.
And I said, you guys have been a Christian for like 20 years. What have you been listening to? Kartoshka. Go. Potatoes. This one. Read it out for people to hear. Say that.
Okay. DSA, anytime I watch you teach, just as you have done tonight, you make me come alive and see life is worth living.
Can you believe it? Just like hearing the word of life. Life is worth living. I come alive. And this is a Christian, good Christian, one of the best guys you ever met. But can you imagine if this is what everybody's hearing in churches? Yes. We would have run riot with this one. We would have taken the whole world over a long time. That's why religion is dangerous. Okay, go ahead.
And see, life
again.
is right.
Read it again.
DSA, anytime I watch you teach, just as you have done tonight, you make me come alive and see life is worth living so as to fulfill purpose. So much to convert.
So life is worth living. Just by listening. One day.
So much to convert and produce for mankind to benefit from. I'm bubbling inside of me right now. Wanting to live long to release everything God has put in me for the world. Thank you, sir.
Wow. Yep.
This life is worth living, and being a Christian is definitely worth it too. God bless you again.
Wow. When light comes, that's what will begin to happen. So some people then will wonder, how is it that you're able to do what you did with all these white people, Europeans come to? There is nobody that can resist light if you possess it. So people are saying that, oh, English people are not coming. Depends on what you are dishing out. Be a possessor of light. Everybody will run. Unless you don't open your mouth. All of them, everybody would listen and say, never heard this before. I'm a teacher, I'm a professor, I'm a this, I'm a that. What is happening? Where are you coming from? Who is this man? Are you human? Either they are Oyibo or they are not white or yellow. That they will be asking if you are a human being. Because you are not. Because you are a carrier of God's life. But that's why we must be connected to that God's life. And then we'll be able to set the word free. Okay. You have to start all over.
Right, okay. God made Adam out of physical product, death, but breathed life into him, energy. And that is what qualifies Adam to be an eternal being. A human life is
What is
made...
that energy? Life that I spoke about. Life. Spirit. Remember when the spirit, it disappears into energy. Spirit.
Yeah.
Spirit realm. Okay.
A human life is made up of energy.
That is the breath of God. That is the spirit.
And mass.
Mass is the body. Yep.
Job chapter 33.
Now let's find it in the Bible.
Verse 4. The Spirit of God has made me.
Spirit. Yeah.
And the breath of the Almighty gives me life.
See? So you are spirit. And it is that breath, that spirit, that is conjoined into the embryo to obtain mass and shape the dirt from your parents. But it's needed not just to obtain shape and body, but to obtain functionality. Because you needed to be confined, not to be spirit anymore. You are still spirit, but to be more conscious of material world, so that you can now bring the assignment that is put in you from there. You can bring the heaven to the earth. Let thy kingdom come. Let thy will be done. That's why everybody is sent here on assignment. You are packaged for something. And for that reason, the only explanation that you are not sent here on an assignment is that you didn't pass through the womb. But if you pass through the womb, because you are reduced, condensed for assignment. That's why you are formed in the body for assignment. That's a proof by itself that you are packaged to be able to do something. That's why you are formed and reduced to body. But you are not body. You are still spirit. Koijo, are you still here?
I am. It's just as I was thinking about it, recognition of this truth makes it easy for you to deal with demonic forces, because you know they actually don't have a right to be here.
They are nothing. They are
so
zero.
it's not any.
But you remember the answer I gave. The effectiveness of demonic forces depends on what?
Deception.
That's why the white people, Europeans, don't talk about them. Because they didn't listen to their deception. So to them, it's like they are not existing. Because the more you are Satan is only powerful to the degree that you have been able to be deceived by him. Yes, sir.
Okay. The life, energy that is within you cannot be destroyed even in death.
Yeah. You remember I explained that, okay?
For this reason, if you are not born again, that is saved by faith in Jesus Christ, rather than completely disappearing from existence, you spend an eternity in hell, separated from God, your source of life.
Because you can never be destroyed again. Forever. So eternity exists for you. Either you believe in God, you don't believe in God. Because spirit doesn't die. There is no death. Even in hell, there is no death. The death is only separation from God. Yeah.
It is only the body that keeps the human spirit on earth.
So when you go, let me prove that to you again. Have you ever seen the astronauts when they are in space? Why do they flow?
Because it's not their own space.
Because the earth is the place that is meant to function by what? Three things I just told you the laws. Time, space, and matter. And mass, yes. But when you go out of space, out of the earth and go into space, because that law is not functioning there, there is no space. Because of the absence of space, that's why they float. Matter, material things, is what makes the earth not to float, because of space. Matter, material, that's why you need the body here, so that you will not float. If there had not been space, we would have been floating like that. Because they don't have space, matter, material things, that's why they float. Matter can go there like they went there as matter, but there is no space. So that means there is no law of gravity. They are out of the earth. The law of gravity is functioning on the earth. That is, law of gravity is responsible for space, for things to be able to stand, material things. Number two thing that is not there, because there are two things that God created first: time and space. And the second thing that is not there out of the earth in space is time. So if you spend 1 year in space and you went there when you are 40, by the time you come back, you will still be 40 from the very day. You'll be the same age as the day you left 1 year ago, or 2 years ago, or 5 years ago, 10 years ago. no aging there. Wow. Why? Because the law of time is not applicable there. So when we are talking about you are here to function here, this place, this earth is created specially for you to carry out an assignment. So for you to function and for the will of God to be done, he created this one specially for that and put it under fixed law. You remember those two books I said? Yeah. Fixed laws and principles. And for laws and principles to work, three things. That is the law of time, the law of space. The law of time is what we know time. The law of space is relativity. The law of matter. That's why we have materials. So everything that is in spiritual realm, they must obey this law. That is why conversion is necessary. Because without conversion from spirit realm, they will not function here. Just like when we go to space, we will function there. They have to build a special machine so that they will be able to function there. Because we are not created for that particular space. There is no time there. Our laws are not working there. So that's why when you die, you don't have any problem. It's just like date flew out of our earth, the same way you are flying out of this earth, only beyond to the world of light and world of spirits, which is the kingdom of God. Yes. So you are still the same. Anyway, maybe you didn't need that information, but I think you should just think about that. Yeah. Okay? Yes.
It is only the body that keeps the human spirit on earth.
So you got it. I explained that to you already. Yes. But when you now get body, you have body like this, and you go out of the earth and go into space, in the cosmos, that body doesn't help you already. It doesn't even keep you on the earth. Why? Because it's not conditioned for it. That's why you begin to float. But the reason why you need body is a proof already that God sent you on an assignment. Because your body keeps you here. Max, you can relate to God in the spirit, but to be able to see and bring the kingdom of God down here. Bro wants to speak. Give him the mic. Or it's getting too technical for you guys? Are you tired already? Okay.
Thank you so much, GSA. This is so exciting. I wanted to ask, what happens when somebody is sleeping? And how?
Okay. Good job. Sleep, like marriage, they are only earth necessities. So when you get to the spirit, you don't sleep. You don't need it. When you get to heaven, you don't sleep. You don't need it. We will never sleep. Because that's why God, he says, doesn't sleep nor slumber. Because the spirit realm is so much superior. You are so much superior. Your spirit man is so much superior. You have to be held down by this body. So some people now begin to enjoy what is holding them down, the prison that is holding them down, more than the real life that is possible. That's why people always complain about death, because they think that this prison where they are in is the real life. Can you imagine that deception? So what happens when you sleep? Number one, sleep carries out several functions. Is recuperation for your body to regain functionality. It's a system of renewal and a system of sustaining life, your life on this earth, your body, so that your body can serve here for as long as possible. Function here. It's number one. That's number one. Number two, is a reminder to you because you will not think by yourself. But even despite sleep, some people will still not think. It's a reminder for you that you don't belong here. That's why you die every day, because sleep is a form of short death, daily death, for you to never be attached here, but to always be detached on daily basis, to know that you don't belong here. So that if you have sense, it will always remind you on daily basis to be in good relationship with your Creator, and to know that you are not, and that you are not the one in control. You could be withdrawn at any day. So you have to always be keeping fresh your relationship with God and know that you depend on Him. That's for the wise. The next thing why you need sleep is to give your spirit man the opportunity to communicate some information to you. It provides the ability for your spirit man to rearrange your subconscious. And when the rearrangement of subconscious is done, you begin to dream. Oh, somebody asked about dream yesterday. So, but let me stop at that. I think that's enough for now. Yes, go ahead.
Here, just question about sin. How sin and spirit man relate to each other?
Good. So, sin and spirit man. Sin is only important. The question of sin only really mattered. The only sin that is important is the sin of Adam. And that is the sin that matters before God and to God. Every other sin, apart from that sin, is not the sin that takes you to hell. So listen closely now, before you declare me heretic. Yes. But the question that I was asked is that, what is the relation of sin to death or to life, to the life of God? So the one sin that really matters, that really relates to life and God, is that one sin. And that is that one sin that God had to labor, look for different ways and means to get man out of, to redeem man from, to be able to heal man from, until he now got Jesus to come and heal and totally destroy the power of that sin and of the ones you will ever commit. So, but the one that makes people, some people are saying, I'm a good person. Even if you're a good person, you inherited that sin. So it is that Adamic nature will still take you to hell, no matter how good you are. That is why we need redemption. So everybody needs redemption from that original sin. So why is it that it is the only sin that really matters? And because it is that sin that takes you to hell. Because even after you have been redeemed from that sin, and by Jesus, and by all your sins, you discover that you still sin. Yes. But any other sin after you have been redeemed doesn't take you to hell, because Jesus has already redeemed you from the most important one. That is why everybody that dies in a state of sin. There is no human being that dies without having one sin or the other in their lives. You cannot confess everything because you don't even remember them. There are sins in your subconscious while you are sleeping. There are sins that are dwelling in you, you don't even know. Your flesh itself is sin. So that's why it is not that thing that you are doing now. It is your acknowledgement of what Christ has done to redeem you from the original sin and from your own sin and from the future sin that matters. If you have been able to receive that, you are redeemed. Yes. Now, some people will say, is that eternal security? No. So God comes to deliver you from the power of sin altogether, to kill the power of sin in your life. So when you receive Jesus, that law of life, spirit and life, comes into operation in your life. But if you now walk away from Christ, you reject, you turn your back, you go again under that law. It is your choice. God didn't remove your choice because you became born again. So you are still you are a person you still have willpower. But God has potentially had already killed the sin. Killed sin, destroyed the power of sin that can take you to hell, unless you yourself go and put yourself under it again. But what we are being taught in religious churches is that, be holy, don't sin, but yes, if you are going to walk away from God and go and put yourself in life of sin altogether, then you are going to be cut away from the life of God because you walk away from God. That is why you are backsliding, and sin that is again having dominion over you. Then you go to hell, even though you were born again before. But if you love God and you are striving to know Him more, to have more relationship with Him, even though you are sinning, even though you never admit, some religious people will never admit it. Either you admit to, you are still sinning. Either you like it or not. Thoughts, nobody ever escapes it because you are just in the flesh. But sin, in that sense, doesn't have dominion over you again because you are in Christ Jesus and you are in relationship with God. That sin has been destroyed. It doesn't take you to hell.
Amen.
Okay. Somebody wanted to ask something. But we don't want to get distracted though.
We had an agreement as a group yesterday.
Okay. Yes. Let's continue then.
2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 8. We are confident.
I'm being distracted big time.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Well pleased rather to be absent from the body and to be present
Where is Maria?
with the Lord.
I can't see her. How can you be so quiet? I'm shocked. Huh? Okay, you are really behaving, you are really behaving. You are very self-disciplined. Please go ahead, read it again.
2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 8. We are confident, yes, well pleased rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord.
You see what I said? If you, by the time you begin to understand what we are talking about, you will never desire to remain in that prison anymore. Yeah. That is called body. You will be praying to die. And that's what the apostles are talking about. Yeah. Because your eyes are open, you know who you are and where you belong. Death will be more attractive to you than life. But can you believe that when I speak about death like that I pray to die, that I love, I would rather die than live, and talk about death like this, people begin to, Christians, they say, no, never, in the name of Jesus, we cancel it or something. What they say, it's not your portion. It will never, people, can you imagine? In fact, we are so much in darkness that darkness has now become the norm. In fact, has become the accepted standard for us. So you are in the body, you want to be in the body, and you will live, don't go. You shall live and never die. You shall live. So they don't understand where I'm coming from. Because I'm talking about that doesn't mean I'm going to die. I don't talk like that. If you talk like that, if I happen, see, they are magicians. They think I talk like that, it happens is magic. What they are using. Mystery. But see, apostles are talking here. Yes. If you really know what we know, if you really know, you will desire rather to be absent from the body, to die, and to be present in the spirit. Why? Because you belong in the spirit. You come from the spirit. Please write your questions. Yeah, write your questions that you raised your hand, you wanted to ask. Write it down. So that you don't forget, because I would like to answer everything towards the end. Okay?
Once the body is removed, the spirit of the believer travels to heaven.
You see the traveling, the journey. and the body is left here. So how can you say you want to remain here? It's ignorant.
As an internal being with the breath of God flowing through our bodies.
And you remain the same, you still have the same body, only it's not material body. It's a body that is conditioned to be spiritual body. That body that was confined, when it comes out of that body, it becomes full. It takes the shape of full grown-up man. You become fully grown because the limitation has been stripped of you. Yeah.
As an eternal being, with the breath of God flowing through our bodies.
You see the light is running to. Yes. Remember we spoke about it? Yes. Speed of light. Yes. Okay.
We have legal right to function in the unseen realm and the tangible realm at the same time.
But to be able to function in that realm of the unseen realm, you need to shed the body. But right now we can do the two. But the two, for to be able to function in the spirit realm, is to train your spirit man to be in touch with God. But you are not to live there. You are not to live in the spirit realm. God will not tolerate you there. You just need to do what you do. Just like when with God. When he put the children of Israel in the Garden of Eden, he had to withdraw himself and step out and only came back to visit them in the cool of the day. Because if he stays there with them, it will become a distraction to them. Then they would not be able to function, to carry out the assignment for which they are here. So it's the same thing for you to want to be spiritual all the time. You are not pleasing God by trying to be spiritual all the time. You are displeasing God rather. Because rather he made you to come. That's why even God had to withdraw and then come. Even though the presence of God is always there, they are in the presence of God doing what they're doing. But he needed to step out so that they can do what assignment. The same thing for us. We are not supposed to be here for spirit. We are supposed to be here for earth. To bring the spirit down to earth. You people are getting that, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
good.
Yes.
The things in the spirit realm are really functioning at such a high speed, they are unseen by the naked eye.
Can you now understand why you don't see angels? It's because of the speed with the operating. You remember the object?
Yes. Yes.
Because they are in the speed of light. Twice. Square. That's where angels are. God, that's spirit realm. And that's why when man dies, you think he died. But the man is still there telling you, because he is now in the speed of light, in the spirit realm. But he's still there over you.
Yes.
So you don't see what is happening, and he is seeing what is happening. Because he is no more confined. That's why you had those stories about clinical death and things like that. Yes. They are there, but they are no more confined. Okay?
They are functioning as energy or at the speed of light squared.
Yeah.
If physical product were to get going fast enough, it will disappear, as it has been converted energy. It remains in the form of energy as long as it remains at that particular speed. If you reverse the process and take invisible energy and slow it down, you would first have the entrance of light followed by mass or material. Mass, if sped up, converts to light, and then light converts to energy. If this is so, then it is safe to say that the reverse would also be true. Any mass that has been converted from energy would produce...
When I'm talking of energy, I'm talking about spirit level, right? Mm-hmm.
Any mass that has been converted from energy would produce light as it is slowed down and is fully converted to physical product.
That's what I explained to you, right? Okay.
light would accompany energy's conversion to physical products.
That's why even when angels appear, people see light. Because they are converting from the speed of speed of light to double to light, and then before to product. So sometimes you see them like light. Or they said whenever any angels appear, they say it's a great light appeared because they are coming from that realm. That's where they dwell, at the speed of light. And they are converting, slowing down before they become visible. And because it happens sharp, that's why you can see light sometimes. They are not carrying light or lantern or something. No. It's just because of the speed of how they converted. That's why you are able to see light. But they are not seeing that light because they are in there anyway. It's just for you because they are slowed down their existence, their reality. I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Example. Why in scripture bright light accompanying the appearance of angels? Angels are all around us, yet we are unable to see them because of the rate of speed they are functioning at.
So why is it that we don't see them? At what point do you then see them? When they want to become
Body.
Body, physical. Even though they are here all the time. But they are in their realm. But when they want to become visible for one reason or the other, they convert very fast. Vibration takes place. That's where you see the light.
When an angel does appear to us accompanied by bright light, it is probably because they have slowed down enough and in the process of converting themselves to physical product that we can see and even touch.
To physical world, to material world, right? Mm-hmm.
Bright light accompanies the conversion. This is because light speed squared is slowing down.
You getting it?
Yes.
Okay.
God's speed or light speed. The realm.
God's speed, because that is the realm where God dwells. And that's why I wanted you to remember that Genesis 1:3. Light. Let there be light. You remember I told you in the beginning? Connect everything I'll be saying now about light to that Genesis 1:3. Not the light of just knowledge or something. This is another level. Okay.
God's speed or light speed. The realm and speed in which spirit beings operate. The spirit realm is functioning at such a high speed that not only is it invisible, but it exists outside of time.
I've already proved that to you, right? With the astronauts.
Yes.
That they exist out of time. When the earth time is only for the earth. Space is only for the earth. Yeah, so it's not just the speed of the angels, but out of time as well. That's why they don't die over there. Mm-hmm.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. But beloved, do not forget this one thing, that with the Lord, one day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
Do you understand what that means now?
Yes.
Why? The explanation. Because with the Lord is living
Outside of dimensional
infinity, no time. Beautiful. You are smart. You are getting it. Thank God, thank God. You are sharp.
The concept of God functioning at an entirely different speed compared to earth realm also gives explanation to prophecy and why God is able to speak about things that have not happened yet as though they have happened and wants you to speak the same way.
Yeah, what happened? What's going on is that we who are living on earth, we are deceived to thinking that reality is past, present, and future. But reality is there is no past, present, and future. Take this room, for example. In real life, which is the spirit life, that is the real life. Take this room, for example. If I demarcate it into 3, that you, first row will be in this place, and then the other one will be there, the other one will be there. There are 3 different, and you don't see one another. Does that mean that doesn't exist?
No, it exists.
And the other one, the third one also doesn't exist?
It exists.
But you don't see them?
Yes. Because of the partitioning.
Because of the
Yes. Partitioning.
the partitioning, the vacation. The same thing with time, past, present, and future. Everything is one room like this. So in the spirit room, the demarcations are just removed. That's why you can prophesy, you can go into the past and to the future, you can manipulate, everything is. So your life, the 40 years you have lived, when you are living from the realm of the earth, from the physical realm, you think you have lost your past. And then your future look to you as something that is in the distant future, something you cannot touch right now. You are only aware of present. That's an illusion. So, but if you are a spirit person, you will discover that in the real sense, that is demarcation and manipulation, deception of time. That is the illusion of time that is managing the earth. That is just for the functionality. That's why I wrote that book, The Secret of Life. That's just for the functionality. It's just for the things to work out. It's not the real life. Your real life is really that you are one whole person from your day of birth or your conception till today. You are just one person as a whole until you will die into the future. So if you are higher being, if you are a higher person or a spirit person, you can go higher and begin to see yourself as a whole, and begin to see the whole earth as a whole, and then be able to rule over and have dominion on the earth as well. Say. Give us the microphone. Let us say what she's trying to say.
As you were
Because
saying,
it's like she's getting it.
I'm so sorry.
Take it.
That is why God confounded the wise and all of us by still making it possible, not making it possible, but for Sarah and Abraham to be able to have Isaac at the age at which they did.
Yeah. Yep.
Because we think after 50, yes. We think, oh, after this certain age, that can't happen anymore. Oh, this is the time. But that's, for God, there is no demarcation.
That is a little bit explanation into the supernatural and miracles. But I've only explained to you right now in terms of the past. But by the time I begin to operate in the times of the future, you understand better miracles. But the whole thing is one time. So miracle is there for just reaching out a little bit. I'm pulling it here. So when you operate by faith and when you develop your spirit man to the extent that you are strong enough, faith and your spirit man reality will be stronger than the reality of yesterday, today, and reach out to the spirit realm, to the future, and drag things out here. It's also conversion, but we'll get there. But possibly I will do that in January. But maybe we'll get there this time. We'll see. You got your ticket already, eh? You are going to get your ticket, okay? Yeah.